सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। सर्वोपप्लवरहितः प्रज्ञानघनः प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। ओम शांति शांति शांति। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। Mantra number 8. Saparyagachukramakayamabranam Saparyagachukramakayamabranam Asnaviram shuddhamapapaviddham Asnaviram shuddhamapapaviddham Kavir manishi paribhu swayambhu Kavir manishi paribhu swayambhu Yatha tathyatordhan vyadadhat shashvatibhyas samabhyah Yatha tathyato vyadadhat shashvatibhyas samabhyah Saparyagat chukramakayam abranam asmaviram shuddhamapapaviddham Saparyagat chukramakayam abranam asnaviram shuddhamapapaviddham Kavir manishi paribhu swayambhu Yatha tathyatordhan vyadadhat shashvatibhyas samabhyah. Last time we were discussing asnaviram avranam avranam shuddham. Asnaviram means it is not the gross body. There is no snayu. There are no muscles in the self. Though it is Sarvashaktiman, it is free from all muscles. It doesn't require 6-pack and 7-pack, this macho style. It is still without any muscle and avranam. There is no scar. There is no hurt. Last time I said that whenever you get hurt, at least remember that it is a mind that feels hurt, not I. I am the illuminator of the mind. We will see, it will come here. I am the substratum of the mind. If mind is nothing but thought flow, and all the thoughts are nothing but superimposition of name and form on the consciousness and existence on such it. Therefore, since for the vrittaya, nama rupa of the vritti is superimposed, I am free from it. It doesn't touch me. It doesn't impact. One more thing also. Not only we get hurt, and we carry all those hurts in our mind, the scars of the past. And we brood over it. So we create a hurt of the hurt. Dukkham of the dukkha. Mind gets into that rut. Whereas the self, consciousness, is free from any kind of scars or any kind of hurt. Asnaviram avranam. The vikara is not there in the self. So at least do this. Whenever the mind gets into that repetitive channel of remembering past hurt and feeling low, feeling the pain again, creating a pain, imagine, mind replays the whole blessed thing and feels unhappy about it, feels pain about it. Just cut it off, shake it off by will. This is where Dhamma comes in. Do something. Engage the mind into some activity, thereby that process, that building up process is broken. The habitual thinking process is interrupted. And even if momentarily, but activity, when you get involved into some activity, physical activity, then you get out of it. And slowly you grow out of that habit. It is just a habit to keep remembering the past and keep feeling the pain of the past again and again. Then it says, Shuddham, it is pure. The ultimate, another, and then it says, Apapaviddham, two words. Let us look at the word Apapaviddham first. Viddham means tainted. Viddham means affected. Viddham means impacted. Apapaviddham. Papaviddham, affected by sin, impacted by sin. Apapaviddham, I am unaffected by sin. Because why they are not affected by sin? The papam or punya arises to the one who is a karta. And there is a sense of doership. To that person, there is a papa. Means when I am karta, I have no choice but to become bhokta. When I am doer, I automatically become bhokta of the karma that I perform. There was I sense. If you recollect our discussions of Tattva Bodha, we had seen that. Antakarana is fourfold. Manaha, buddhi, chittam and ahankara. Ahankara is not simply arrogance, what generally people say. Somebody very arrogant, very assertive, very aggressive, they said that person is ahankari. No, that's not the case. What does ahankara mean? Ahankarta iti ahankara, who thinks I am the doer. To that doer, there is papam and punyam both. When one realizes that doership is incidental, or doership belongs to this upadhi, not to me, to this role, and that I am asangaha. The self is not the doer, but it is the illuminator of the doer. Ahankara is also a vritti. Like emotion is a vritti, cognition is a vritti, memory is a vritti. All the four things in Antakarana are a thought form. So Ahankara is also a thought form. When that thought also, Ahankara also, is superimposed on the consciousness. And I am that consciousness, which is the substratum of Ahankara as well. When you live with that awareness, I am no more a doer, and the doership is just incidental. And since it is incidental, it doesn't affect me. I don't enjoy or exhaust any kind of karma phala because I never did it. Okay? If I never performed it. Therefore, it is said, apapavidham. The Bhagavan, by the way, this is the teaching of Bhagavad Gita. People tell this. So common conception, misconception, especially in India, all over India here. भगवान ने श्री कृष्ण भगवान ने गीता में कर्म की रीति सिखाई. Lord Krishna has taught how to perform action. And say, just ask that fellow, that stupid fellow who says this. क्या कर्म की रीति सिखाई है? बोले निष्काम भाव से कर्म करो. The fellow who says nishkam bhava, he himself has a kamna that you do nishkama. One who is professing this theory, Bhagavan has told that you should do, and he tells, Bhagavan has told that you should do with nishkama bhava. That means you have a kamna when you say should do. He himself has a kamna. Then that you should be nishkama. That's what Bhagavan has said. No. Karma Yoga is an incidental upadesh. The tatparya of Gita's upadesha is one, and one that is know yourself. And two, not aspect, but swarupa of the self is emphasized from two standpoints. One, it is often told that Atma is birthless, deathless. Ajaraha amaraha. There is no birth, no death. It is beyond time and space. And second thing, that self is akarta, non-doer. I can keep quoting the verses from every chapter. Second chapter, listen. Hanta chen manyate hantum hataschen manyate hatam ubhautau na vijanitau na ayam hanti na hanti. Self doesn't kill or doesn't get killed. So there is no action, no karta. Third chapter. प्रकृते क्रियमाणानि गुणे कर्माणि सर्वशः अहंकार विमूढ़ात्मा कर्ताहमिति मन्यते तत्त्ववित्तु महाबाहो गुणकर्म विभागयोः गुणागुणेषु वर्तन्ते इति मत्वा न सज्जते. असंगः. फोर्थ चैप्टर. कर्मण्य कर्मयः पश्येत् अकर्मणि च कर्मयः स बुद्धिमान् मनुष्येषु सयुक्तः कृष्ण कर्म करोति. Fifth chapter. Pashyan, Shunvan, Spushan, Jigrin, Ashnan, Gachan, Swapan, Shashan, Pralapan, Unmishan, Nimishan, Napi, Naiva Kinchit Karomiti, Yukto, Manyeta, goes up to 18 chapter. Lastly, he says, Yasyanaham Kruto Bhavaha, Buddhi Yasyan Lipyate. Who doesn't have ahankara? Buddhi is not lepita. Hatvapi sa iman loka. Even if he or she kills all these lokas, nahanti nanibhati. Not bound by this action of killing because he or she doesn't kill at all. The self is free from karta bhokta. It is only guna guneshu vartante. Prakrutehe kriyamanani karmani sarvasha. Prakriti does. Ishvara, the self, doesn't do. Symbolizing, by the way, symbolizing this truth. I will not use the word principle. People say this principle is symbol. It's not principle, it's a truth. Symbolizing this truth, all our Bhagavan are married, and Bhagavan himself is not doing anything. Brahmaji is just sitting and listening to Saraswati's Veena. Vishnu is also sleeping on Shesha Shayya. Swamiji would say, first choir mattress. was discovered in India. First mattress because he was sleeping. And if you look at Shiva, he is in Samadhi. Devi is a symbol of Prakriti and she does. And this is the problem. People conveniently interpret. Therefore, husband should not do anything. Only wife should do everything. Indian husbands. I think they should go to US. Atma Sakshatkar will take place. Realization will take. They should go there in Western country and stay sometime. Then they will learn to work. They will not take a cup of coffee after taking. She has to take away the cup of coffee. That's a typical. And that Atulya Bharat, it is. You cannot equate Bharat with anything. Tulya means equatable. Anyway, they symbolizing this truth. The self is akarta, self is a bhokta, that is, and Prakriti works. Therefore, it is shown that Ishvara is sitting. And Devi is doing the work, akarta. In the 6th chapter, 7th chapter, Bhagavan says, Maya dakshena prakritihi suyate sacharacharam hetunanaiva kaunteya jagat viparivat. And just by my mere presence, Prakriti does. Therefore, self is apapavidham, not tainted by, affected by, impacted by either papa or punya. And that is why wise person doesn't have a rebirth. The cause of the rebirth is karma phala. But there is no karma phala for me because I don't do karma. That being the case, I am free from any birth and death. That is how wise person becomes free from cycle of birth and death. Okay. Now look at the previous word. Shuddham. It is always pure. Why pure? Because it is asanga. It is a substratum. Like all impurities in a movie cannot touch the light upon which everything is superimposed. Atma being asangaha, it is the ultimate impurity is self-ignorance. Some improper thought, and improper words, and improper deeds, that is not ashuddhi. They are all the effect of mula ashuddhi. Fundamental impurity, ignorance. Ignorance brings into being ahankara, and it is that ahankara which is fraught with desires and pain and agonies and memories and all kinds of things improperly, performs improperly, speaks improperly, and therefore ashuddhi comes to it. And the ahankara is born out of ignorance. Shuddham, nitya shuddhoham. I am ever pure. Ignorance cannot touch me. As it is, why and how, no answer. But ignorance cannot touch me. Avidya malarahitaha. I am free from that blemish of ignorance. And therefore, Bhagavan says in Gita, it is the knowledge that will cook the goose of ahankara. The knowledge doesn't expect any other means. Yathaidhamsi samiddhogni bhasmasat kurte arjuna. Gnanagni sarva karmani bhasmasat kurte tatha. All karmas, everything is burnt when the ignorance is removed. So, ultimate impurity or the fundamental impurity being ignorance, and one who knows the self is free from ignorance, therefore he or she is ever pure. In fact, when I thought myself to be ignorant, when I took myself to be ahankara, when I took myself to be doing something improper and actions and words and thoughts and etc., even that time also I was pure. Nitya Shuddha Atma. Therefore, it is that. And then next word is Kavihi Manishi. Kavihi. Kavi doesn't mean poet, okay? In Sanskrit. In our vernacular language, Kavi means poet. This poets, this is my observation, okay? And I've heard from quite a few. All these poets and writers, they look good, they look beautiful, they look nice, only in books, not personally. When you meet them personally, Gujarati में कवियों और लेखकों चौपड़ी बहार अलग है, एमने मारा ना अलग है. You meet them. That's not there. The two guys were fighting on the road. The other fellow said, "Why are you fighting?" He said, "This fellow is not listening to my poetry. Therefore, we are fighting." Then he says, but why should he listen your poetry? But I listened his poetry, so we had a deal that nobody is available. So we will tell each other. And then first he sang his poetry and I listened to him, and now he is not listening to my poetry. The other fellow was asked, "Hey, why are you not listening?" He says, "My poetry was only 30 lines. His 60 lines poetry is sent." So deal should be equal. Yeah, Kavi means, it is the Kavi word is used for rishis. Kavi word is used in Vedas for Atma. Kranta Darshi, Atita Darshi, Indriyatita Darshi, Sarva Darshi. Kavi means one who knows everything, Sarva. So, self is Kavi, Sarvagna. Why? You don't know everything in detail, like in a goldsmith shop. The goldsmith may not know the weight and the price and the design of every ornament, but at least he knows everything is gold, if it is a golden. That is Sarvagna. He knows everything. So wise person is also called Sarvagna, not in a sense of knowing the details. The wise person, Sarvagnatvam, the status of being omniscience or all-knowing, is with reference to knowing the very substratum of everything. Therefore, Kavihi, when it says Manishihi, Manishi means Manasaha Ishita, the ruler of the mind. In which sense? It's the substrate. Satta Spurti Pradatratvena, by the mere status of giving existence and sentiency to the mind, it is called Manish. Then Paribhuhu Swayambhuhu. Bhuhu means is, becomes. Pari is a prefix used in a sense of above, beyond, transcending. It transcends this world. It is beyond this world. It is above this world. Please understand these words. Consciousness is above everything. Consciousness transcends everything. Therefore, close your eyes and do transcendental meditation. It is mental meditation. There is no transcendental meditation. This is a very crude joke, This fellow didn't know much of English, and he was told you have to do transcendental meditation. So he removed his denture and sat and tried to meditate, because you have to transcendental. he, he thought, okay, you have to meditate after removing the denture. That is transcendental. Above means untouched. Above means unaffected. We use this in all our vernacular language. Like, sometimes children or the spouse or mother-in-law or family, somebody has a habit of doing certain things which you don't like. Then if somebody says, okay, you must be at pain to this behavior, they say, now nothing upar thai gyo છે. I'm above all this. Above all this means what? I am unaffected. I am untouched. Self is unaffected by the entire world because it is a substratum and everything is superimposed on it. It is all pervasive also. At the same time, it is transcending everything. Okay? Omniscience, omnipotent, everything it is. But it is beyond that. That Purusha Sukta mantra, some of you know. Sahasra Shirsha Purusha Sahasrakshas Sahasrapad Sabhumim Vishwato Vrtva Atyatishtat Dashangulam. Sahasra Shirsha Purusha. Purusha is 1,000 heads and 1,000 eyes and 1,000 legs. Sahasrakshas Sahasrapad. Then third ruk is Sabhumim Vishwato Vrtva. Vishwataha Sarvataha. It has pervaded the entire creation from all sides. Having pervading the whole creation from all sides or everywhere. He is all pervasive to creation. And then immediately Shruti or Rishi says, Atyatishtat Dashangulam. It stands above by 10 fingers. 10 fingers is figurative. It stands above. Stands above means it is above all this. It above all this means what? Unaffected, untouched by the creation. That means the whole creation. When can a vastu be unaffected? Either it can be totally distinct from the another vastu, which is not a case. We say ekam advitiyam brahma, non-dual. Or the so-called second vastu, which we thought it can affect the first vastu, is mithya, is superimposed. Like a whole movie on the screen is superimposed on the light. Light pervades the entire movie. Hero is in India and heroine is America, but light is everywhere. All pervasive. It's a bhumim vishwato vritva. At the same time, it remains unaffected. So when the Shruti says paribhuhu, it implies the whole creation is superimposed, it's mithya. For our own example, I can give you from our day-to-day life, with reference to dream, your dream, you are all pervasive. Dream is not any which way beyond you. Whole dream is within you. And at the same time, the person, the one who has created the dream is beyond the dream. Beyond entire dream means he or she is completely unaffected by dream. Swayambhuhu or a paribhuhu. And therefore, again, by the way, just to explain you. See, unless you know the word's proper meaning, these all create confusion. And it creates so much of confusion that whole confusion parampara continues. After a certain generation, it becomes confounded confusion. So if the person who is clear and goes around to talk the truth, that fellow will be considered as confused because all are confused. So if you go to a mental hospital, I wish you may not have to. But then if for a visit, if you go, all those mental fellow will think you are mental. they think we are wise. This fellow, therefore you have to be very careful in using the word, and you have to be clearer about the exact meanings of the word, like beyond, above. In the same sense, there is a verse in Bhagavad Gita, very famous. Most of the Indians know, especially those who study Gita know, that 15th chapter, first verse. Urdhva moolamadash ashwatham prahuravyayam chandamsi yasya parnhani yastam veda sa vedavit. It says, Bhagavan describes this samsara is equated with a tree, and this samsara tree has urdhva moolam. Moolam in the root is above. Adashakham, branches are below. Not understanding. That is where you have to see the implied meaning of the words. People took the direct meaning, literal meaning of the word, and therefore in many, many, many Indian temples, they have drawn a tree hanging above ulta. A tree with the branches like roots going in the air and branches coming down. Disrespecting the law of gravitation, which is not possible. How can that be? And they translate, this is a samsara vriksha whose roots are above. And when they don't know above, it is beyond. They have to go to beyond. And then trees are below, branches are below. Above is, I just now told you, unaffected. It is a substratum. Below is the tree, samsara is superimposed. Hero, heroine, villain, fighting, fires, water, garden, and the travel, and the running, hero, heroine running around. Everything is superimposed on light. What all they do, nothing affects the light. And it is called above or beyond. Please understand the meaning of above, beyond, or superior. Some books translate, the root is superior and the tree is inferior. What is superior, inferior? This. So here it is beyond or superior sense. And it says, Swayambhuhu. Swayambhuhu means Bhuhu bhavati or is Swayam. It is because it is. It is because it is. So, akarana. Swayambhu means there is no karana, there is no cause for that. In our case, we are. What is the karanam? Why I am human being? Why I am male or female? Why I am born to these parents and that too in this order of sibling? Why I was born in this place and not other place? Why how come I grew up like this? Why I got married to this person? There is a karanam. What is a karanam? Karma karanam. Your prarabdha. You are born because of karma. And your astitva, your existence is caused by karma. And there are so many other factors, even when you are. How am I? What am I? Where am I? All is dependent upon few other things. I am here because of my friend. He insisted that I should come away. He invited me for business and I thought that I should join business. Not only karma, that may be my sankalpa, that may be my desire, that may be my decision. So how I am, where I am, what I am is always caused by something. What I am is always caused by one thing or another thing. That Ishvara or Atma or the self is because nirnimittam. There is no cause for it. Okay? And by the way, therefore, we have no childhood for Lord Shiva. We have no Bala Leela, no childhood exploit stories of Lord Shiva. He is referred as Mahadeva. We don't know who are his parents, who are his brothers, siblings, who are his grandparents, because he is Bhagavan, Pitahamasya Jagat. I am the grandparent of this world. Because Swayambhu, Swayam Bhavati, it is Swayambhu. And just by the way, nowadays we have pictures of baby Shankara. I don't know if you have seen in India, it became popular. Small Shankara, just like 2-year baby, and that too sleeping baby. I don't know where Shankara lied down. Lord Shiva is always meditating and sitting, not and literally sleeping. And poor Shiva doesn't have a pillow. The baby also. It is making his own hand as a pillow and sleeping on the right hand side. Head is on the right hand. And like these modern children, they have a teddy bear and they sleep, Maybe. And with the teddy bear only, holding the teddy bear, they sleep. Lord Shiva is sleeping with his trident, Dhanush in hand. And they have picture. This is stupid. Not studying the Shastra and creating a misconception in the society. It became prevalent. Thank God it stopped there. Otherwise, like Lala Julanam, they would start Shiva Julanam, swinging the Lala. They will maybe Shiva, they will give a swing and then give bhoga and all that. Ishvara Atma Swayambhu, Swayam Bhavati, iti Swayambhu. And the last part of this mantra is Yatha Tathyato Arthan Vedadhat Shashvatibhyas Samabhyah. Shashvatibhyas Samabhyah. The prose order would be like this. Shashvatibhyas Samabhyah Yatha Tathyatah Arthan Vyadadhat. Okay? Arthan Vyadadhat. Yatha. Accordingly. See, Samaha means Kala. The Sanskrit is Kala. Therefore, we in Gujarati or Hindi, we have Samaya. Word Samaya means Kala. Samaha means Samvatsara, means a year. A period of time is also. Everything is possible in Kala, in time. When you sleep, everything is folded. It becomes in a seed form. And when you wake up, time and space is also resolved. When you wake up, first you become conscious of time and space. And then the whole thing comes out. That's how the thing is. So pralaya, samaya, time is also folded. Space is also folded back. It is like whole Srishti is in a seed form, including time, space, Vayu, Agni, water and Prithvi. Everything is in seed form. The first thing that is created is space-time. Because the Srishti has to be created in it. Therefore, Akasha, we say. So, Kala, is the first thing. So, Kala itself is called Prajapati, Sarjaka, in a secondary sense. It is a creator of everything. So, Samabhya means to Prajapatis, means Brahmaji. Okay? For Brahmaji, the Kala word is used. Just as a Kala becomes instrumental for time, space becomes instrumental for creation. So Brahmaji is a cause, the first creation. Typical story of Bhagavatam. He was sleeping and from Nabhi Brahmaji came out, sitting on a lotus. So that is a Prajapati. But then he came out of Nabhi and was hanging in a space. Space and time was there. So Kala, Brahmaji is also referred as Samaha. And to that Brahmaji, it gave, what it gave? Yatha tathyataha arthan vyadadhata. Yatha tathya. According to the creation, the type of the creation, the nature of the creation, the situation of the creation, all that was given to Brahmaji. How is it Bhagavan that he arbitrarily decides, let us have this, let us have that? No. The creation is according to samasti karma phalas. All those karma phalas that have matured, accordingly there will be creation. There is an individual prarabdha, my own karma phala, and there is a joint prarabdha. Joint means all joined together. Just to, I am getting too much side, taking a lot of detour today, but I think I should tell you this also. In our wedding, Indian wedding invitation card, Lagna Patrika, or Gujarati we say Kankotri, there are few things mentioned. Mangal Murtam, Mandaparopanam, Ganesha Sthapanam, when you do Sthapana of Ganapati, when you do Mandapa Puja, etc. And one more thing is written, Hasta Melapa. Hasta Melapa Kala. This time, this will be Hasta Melapa. Though written, they never adhered. Okay, she will be in beauty parlor and he would be in a makeup room and he comes late always. So you see, the training should begin from the very first day. You have to wait for her. There was a good joke. He says, this, what is the 2 minutes of husband and wife are equal in one day. When she says, I'm just getting ready in 2 minutes and we will go, that 2 minutes is equivalent to husband's 2 minutes. Which 2 minutes? When she calls up and he says, when are you coming? Just I'm finishing the work in 2 minutes. That 2 minutes and that 2 minutes are same. He never finishes in 2 to 5 minutes and she never gets ready in the same time. Anyway, coming back to this. You know why this time is written? There are so many other vidhis. When the girl is, the bride is brought to Mandapam, that time is not given. That Mangala Phera, is not given. Vidai is sometimes given, not given. Why? Listen this. Before marriage, the person is an individual. In a presence of Brahmanas, in a presence of elders, and after chanting all those mantras, when a man and woman holds their hands together, from that moment, in the books of Chitragupta, Bhagavan's accountant, karma phalas merge. Then they have a joint prarabdha. It is not individual prarabdha. First, before, my punya and my papas were mine. Her punya papa were hers. But once they hold the hand in mandapam, after chanting mantras in presence of Agni Devata, in presence of elders and brahmanas, that's it. Pani grahanam, meaning thereby joint prarabdha. Therefore, in India we never had custom of shaking hands. No corona problem. I tell you, recently in Baroda, one of my students' daughter got corona. That she's so innocent. Sometimes to the extent I feel she's naive. She's in university, final year maybe, second at least, I think final. And she shook hand with her neighbor's sons for some matter. He came and suddenly met, hello, how are you? And that's it. Whole family got it, shaking hands. So I wish Donald had shaken hand earlier. Family got the corona. Some of the Mahatmas, Shankaracharya, etc., never give you hand. Don't touch. Prarabdha. Anyway, coming back to this, just as there is a joint prarabdha of men and women, once they do hold the hands, similarly, whole area, whole town, family, society has samashti prarabdha, joint prarabdha, suffered together. And that karma phalas is with Bhagavan. Bhagavan creates Prajapati and asks him to design the creation according. By the way, when pralaya takes place, you see, this question should have arisen in the mind. We keep listening from childhood, but never thought of this. When the pralaya takes place, time is folded back. You know, the time and the space is not there. And then they say, when the time of the creation comes, there is no time. How come the time of the creation coming? Which clock is ticking? The time itself is dissolved, is in a seed form. Then which time of creation? When the creation, when the pralaya takes place, everything is dissolved, including time and space. But one thing, one clock is ticking. That is a clock of karma phala. That Bhagavan knows. He is aware. Everything is resolved, but he is not he. Everything is in seed form, but not Bhagavan. And when the karma phalas mature, as per his law of karma and karma phala, he creates the Prajapati, and for samasti karma phala, he gives the roadmap or design like an architect, giving the design, detailed design to a contractor. Now built according to this. Yatha tatyataha vidadha. He gave karma vibhaga, kartavya karma vibhaga. The division of what to do and how to do to all these Prajapatis. What is that? When we listen to this part of the mantra, and I try to explain the meanings of this mantra, Swayambhuhu, Paribhuhu, then we naturally think that we are talking about Ishvara. No, it is you, it is Atma. The discussion is going on regarding the self. No? Yastu sarvani bhutani atmaiva bhut vijanata. Yasmin sarvani bhutani atmaiva bhut vijanata. That is Atma. The self is like that, meaning thereby I, the individual self, and the self of Ishvara is one. It is not separate. The separation is only aupadikam. It is only from the standpoint of physio-psycho-complex. My physio-psycho-complex upadhi is limited. His upadhi, namely Maya upadhi, is limitless. Because of Maya, you call that Brahman as Ishvara, Jagat Karta, Utpatti Sthiti Lay Karta. And because of the effect of Maya, not directly Maya. In Ishvara's case, it is Maya only. In our case, there is an effect of Maya. What is effect of Maya? Creation of Panchamaha Bhutas and Gunas and ultimately this body. So, because of the effect of Maya, I am limited and I am called Jiva. An effect of Maya, Brahman is called Ishvara. Moment the ignorance is removed, the Jiva discovers that I am Brahman, and that is what the Swarupa is. That is my Swarupa, and that happens to be Swarupa of Ishvara also. So these mantras reveal Jiveshwar Aikyam as well. Okay? And just to explain you something, this is Sanskrit, little grammatically. Look at this. No? In the first two lines, Saparyagat Shukram Akayam Avranam Asnaviram Shuddham Apapaviddham. All these words that Atma is Paryagat, Shukram, Akayam, Avranam, Asnaviram, Shuddham, Apapaviddham, all these words are in neuter gender. And except the first word Saha, the self. Saha is masculine, all neuter, and in the third and the fourth line, all are masculine. Implying, generally neuter word, Brahman word is neuter. And these words implies Brahman, Saha Brahman. So self, that self which was described in the previous four mantras, that which is motionless, etc. Ajavano Grahita, Apanipado, etc. That motionless self is Brahman, and that is Ishvara. Kavir Manishi Paribhuhu Swayambhuhu Yatha Tathyato Vidadat Saswati Vyastama. So grammatically also, if you look at this mantra, it implies oneness between Jiva and Ishvara. The individual and the total are one. That is also implied by gender of these words. Now the little new section begins. There are for some few mantras. Having discussed about the self, Shruti takes a little turn. What is a turn? The first mantra is Ishavasya Sarvam Yatkincha Jagatyam Jagat, is revelation of wisdom, or to the one who wants abidance in the wisdom that one should, having studied at the feet of teacher, Having done some mananam and nididya mananam, for nididhyasanam it is said, all things should be pervaded by Ishvara. The second mantra talked about the karmanishtha. No, kurvan neveha karmani jijivished satagum samaha. The one who is a karman adhikari, and is supposed to perform actions, to them it was. In the third mantra, Asurya namate lokaha andhena tamsa prutaha tamste pretya vigachanti eke chatmahano janaha. That's the third mantra. It was censured of ignorant and avivek. Indiscriminate, ignorant person was censured. What does it mean? Positive thinking. Modern, be positive. What is positive thinking? By censuring the non-discriminative person, Shruti is indirectly praising the seeker, wise person, the Nididhyasan Karta or Karmanishta, that is praised. How? In Upanishad is talking very few mantras, but there are two types of adhikaris, two types of seekers, two types of persons are addressed in Upanishad. Who are they? When? Who is ready for knowledge? What is readiness, etc. I'll discuss. One who is a jignasu, mumukshu, and has studied the Shastra somewhat. For him, all the mantras are given for nididhyasana, contemplation, and so that he or she can own up the self. There is still a second person, one who is some lots of desires, unfulfilled desires to be fulfilled. Or there is a desire to become something. There is a non-acceptance of being self. Becoming self is more acceptable. There is no love for being self, obtaining self. I love that becoming self. I am poor, I don't have a lot of money. When I have $1 million, that is becoming. I love myself. I am dissatisfied with me, myself, as of now. I look ugly. I get some surgery, fixing, or makeup, then I look handsome or beautiful, and I love myself. That means I don't accept and love what I am. There is always a love for becoming self. Want to achieve something, want to become something, want to gain something. The mind is riddled with desire. That is one category. Another one is who doesn't want to become. Enough of becoming. I just want the knowledge. There is a dispassion. Dispassion means, vairagya means no pressure of becoming. And I enjoy being what I am, relatively. Then there is a pressure of becoming. You don't enjoy your being. The fellow may have millions of dollars. Others think, oh, he's such a rich fellow, he must be enjoying huge bungalow, in Staten Island, big house and big apartment in Trump Tower, 4-bedroom house, apartment, everything. But he himself or herself doesn't enjoy, wants to become something, wants to be something because of pressure of becoming what it is not sin. To that becoming fellow, some mantras are told. Kurvanneveha karmani, etc. Now this section addresses to this person. In a way, censuring this person who is always in the process of becoming, and hoping to be happy and content after becoming, after doing something. That person is taught. I think I'll have to skip it to next week, next Saturday. Next Saturday, we'll see those mantras. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.